G'day guys, and welcome to this business management lesson. In today's lesson, we're looking at key knowledge points 323 and 324. That is Unit 3, Area of Study 2, and the third and fourth key knowledge points in this area of study. Today specifically, we're looking at motivation strategies, and key knowledge point 323 helpfully has a list of different motivation strategies that we need to have talked about. Key knowledge point 324 has us look at the advantages and disadvantages of these motivation strategies and determine whether or not they're effective as a short-term motivator or a long-term motivator, and in some cases, both. Performance-related pay is the first of these motivation strategies we need to talk about. And when it comes down to it, what it means is giving your employees extra money when they achieve certain objectives. For example, commissions for sales staff are not uncommon. That would mean that if you're employed to sell shoes in a shoe shop, perhaps you earn a commission or a bonus of 2% or 3% of the value of each transaction that you're responsible for as a salesperson. This is very common in the real estate market. Real estate agents often take a commission, a percentage of the total sale value of a house, if they've been the real estate agent who's managed that sale for a vendor. But in many industries, bonuses at the end of the year are paid based on an employee's performance, and certainly in many industries, employees work effectively with the hopes and the aspirations that they might achieve a pay increase. Ultimately, this is an extrinsic motivator. It's something that's provided by the employer to try and increase the motivation of their employees. But research has been done into this, and all of the research comes to one conclusion. Performance-related pay is only effective in the short term. At a certain point, the amount of money someone has means that they've got enough and they're no longer necessarily motivated by money. This doesn't work for everyone, of course. There are people out there who they could have all the money in the world and it will never be enough. They'll continue to be motivated to pursue increased remuneration. But generally speaking, for the vast majority of people in business, performance-related pay only provides immediate motivation and only provides motivation for people to work within their normal scope of ability. Performance-related pay very rarely motivates someone to work to an extra degree of difficulty and engagement beyond what they normally would be capable of working. Some advantages of performance-related pay specifically, it does provide immediate motivation. So if you're looking for a short-term, quick-acting solution, performance-related pay might be right for your context. And certainly you're going to be ultimately rewarding the best performers in your business. And for employees, there are very clear criteria usually on how to achieve this pay. Very few business managers are out there handing out money willy-nilly. So typically in a business, there'll be quantifiable indicators that employees have to meet a certain metric or meet a certain goal in order to achieve the criteria for being awarded this pay. Disadvantages, of course, are in a business where performance-related pay is a consideration, it can generate competition between your employees. And in many cases, competition between your employees is the opposite of effective teamwork, and it will build a culture in which the employees aren't working together to achieve a common goal, they're working against each other to achieve individual goals. Of course, in many cases too, results don't always tell the whole story. Take, for example, the scenario of shoe salesmen in a shop. It's quite possible that a duty manager or a shift manager might hog the counter that day, and the salespeople on the floor are doing a good job interacting with customers, helping them find their size, only for one manager or one bully in the business to be taking credit for those sales by running through every sale on their own login. And because we have a wealth of evidence to point us in the direction of coming to this conclusion, we know that performance-related pay only works in the short term. You are going to have a very hard time convincing someone to work to the best of their ability for a long time if performance-related pay is the only thing motivating them. Career advancement is the next motivation strategy we need to talk about. This means that as the manager, you are promoting opportunities in your business for employees to take on increased responsibility through promotions in their chosen industry. Some of the benefits of career advancement for employees include increased pay, but because there are other considerations as well, that's not where we draw the line with career advancement. Improved responsibility and a demonstration of recognition from the business will help improve employees' self-esteem and provide challenging experiences and new problems for employees to solve. Employees who are given these increased responsibilities typically find themselves in positions of authority, and authority brings with it challenging work that might have been lacking at the lower levels that they've been promoted from. For employees, promotions are rarely handed out in your first day or week or months, or even perhaps in your first years in a business. So having career advancement opportunities and being someone who seeks to achieve that for yourself, career advancement is going to act as a long-term motivator. You're going to be showing up on time. You're going to be putting in a lot of effort over the course of months or even years in the pursuit of these opportunities. Just because they're present, and if you can see yourself in the running for that sort of thing, it can be a motivator that will motivate you across a long time span or even a whole career. So advantages are, if these opportunities are available for your employees, you can expect that your business is going to be able to retain a number of very talented employees as they stay in the business pursuing these opportunities. And certainly, employees are being rewarded for their consistent high performance across time. And certainly, businesses will know the values, skills, the past experience of any employees that they then promote to management. So suddenly, instead of looking for skills, looking for applicants from outside of the business, you're going to know exactly how skilled and how experienced the people that you're elevating to these managerial positions are. And that can be great for consolidating your culture. If these individuals are characteristic of the culture you want to embed in your business, then you know these people, you know what they're good at, you know how reliable they are, and you can choose them for responsibility in your business. Of course, like performance-related pay, not everyone can get promoted. So you might be causing resentment in those overlooked promotion, and certainly you might be creating rivalries or competition between employees if they were both, or if more than one of them was considering going for that opportunity. One disadvantage, of course, of recruiting internally like this, promoting employees from within the business to positions of responsibility, is you will be missing an opportunity to bring in outside perspectives and diverse experiences into the business. And certainly because if you have a team of 20 employees that report to one manager, you can't promote them all. There are going to be employees in every business who do not see career advancement in their future. And so career advancement is not necessarily going to be an effective motivation strategy for every employee. So despite the fact that it is a long-term motivator, it's only a long-term motivator for the employees who identify in themselves a desire for career advancement. Investment in training is a way that a manager can show that they respect and value their employees. If the management of a business are spending money implementing training to build up the skills and knowledge of their employees, they are building up a highly skilled and highly capable workforce. Now, we know from Maslow's theory, his hierarchy of needs theory, that self-actualization is a motivator for people. We know from Lawrence and Noria's 4-drive theory that the drive to comprehend or drive to learn is a source of motivation for people. And we know from Locke and Latham's goal-setting theory that challenge and complex tasks are motivating for people. So training opportunities to build skills and knowledge are motivating. And in businesses that implement training on a regular schedule, that have a culture of training and development, these short-term motivating sessions of training and development recurring over a long time will help build long-term motivation. Ongoing training, or rather training, is a short-term motivator. The opportunity to learn new things now and then apply those new skills, that will wear off once you become good at whatever it is that you've learned and it's no longer new and exciting. But ongoing training can be implemented in your business as a long-term or a source of continuous motivation. Advantages of investment in training. It's going to show the employees that the business values them and help build that self-esteem need in Maslow's hierarchy. Certainly, it will help give employees a sense of job security. Very few businesses are going to spend resources building up the skills and capabilities of employees just to turn around and sack them. So employees can see that if businesses are investing this time and effort into them, that it's because they're valued and they're safe in their role. Ongoing training opportunities will help build a learning culture and a culture in your business where people aren't afraid to try new things and look for more efficient or more effective ways of pursuing their goals. And certainly, if you're implementing training, it can help employees work towards their career advancement ambitions, which, once again, career advancement might be another motivation strategy you've implemented for your workforce. Of course, disadvantages. Investment in training means that it costs you resources, and it can often be expensive. The more training you implement for your staff, the more resources it's costing, and that's going to get in the way, or at least be a challenge to being a very profitable business. Some of those profits are going to have to be reallocated, invested into training, and so your business will be less profitable. And there is no guarantee that these highly skilled, highly capable employees will continue to stay as your employees in your business. There's every chance that these highly skilled, highly capable employees will become the perfect targets for your competitors to poach them for high-ranking positions within their own businesses. You've spent all that time and money building up the skills of these employees, and perhaps your competitors have managerial positions open that your employees see as an excellent career advancement opportunity, and you can't force your employees to stay with you. That's slavery, and we made that illegal a long time ago. Of course, at some point, the training might be wasted. It might be that you have built up the skills and knowledge and experience of your employees well beyond their position, and if you don't have career advancement opportunities for everyone, your employees might be outskilled for the roles that they're doing, and that can create its own set of problems. Support, or support strategies as it's named in the study design, is a bit vague. What it means, generally speaking, is that managers are looking for opportunities to draw alongside and support employees whenever they encounter a challenge or encounter something in their work life or home life that might be negatively impacting their performance at work. Some support strategies that are quite common include the provision of employee assistance programs, or EAPs, which can often include third-party, entirely independent counseling services. So it might be you as a business manager pays a team of psychologists or a team of counselors to be available to your employees if they ever wish to access those services. It's completely separate from your business, so you're not interfering in that at all. You don't even know if your employees are engaging with it. You provide that service so that if employees need some counseling, it's there for them. Another example might be mentoring, that you have a system in place within your business that experienced employees draw alongside new employees and help show them the ropes. You put these people together with some strategic thinking to make sure that these people are going to get along. Certainly, we know love and belonging drive to bond, that employees prefer to have positive relationships. They're more motivated when they do, so the implementation of a mentoring program might give them someone that they can relate to, that they feel confident asking questions to, and help them feel supported in that way. And of course, there are more general managerial things like the provision of leave for employees who are maybe their landlords just upped the rent and they need to find somewhere new to live, and they've got kids at home and they need to get their stuff packed up before they can move into a new rental property, and so giving them time off to do that. Or maybe they've got certain things that they would like to achieve with regards to work-life balance, like being able to coach their kids' soccer team on a Wednesday, so you as the manager can adjust their work hours to make that possible and just mean that there isn't that conflict between work and life, and you've achieved a really healthy balance for them. Anytime a manager or a leader, in many cases, can go out of their way to show that they, as an individual, care for their employee and make arrangements to show the business is not putting its financial objectives before the well-being of these employees, then we're seeing support in action. Generally speaking, because support can be so diverse, we can't say for certain if it's a short or a long-term motivator, but what we can say is in a business with a supportive culture, employees are more motivated. So as long as that support is always there, as long as employees feel supported, the motivation will be long-term, it will be ongoing. Advantages of support can improve the mental well-being of employees, and mental health we know is just as important as physical health. If you have a broken arm, you're going to be disadvantaged, you're going to be less capable in the workplace than you might otherwise be. If you're dealing with anxiety or depression or just a huge amount of pressure, some sort of trauma in your life, you're going to be far less effective at work than you would otherwise be. So support that improves the mental well-being of employees is going to have a huge impact on maintaining a higher level of effectiveness in your employees. Certainly, a supportive culture is a very strong culture for the reasons we just outlined, and support can contribute to long-term motivation. Some disadvantages, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because support can come in all different shapes and sizes, but one disadvantage, for example, would be that perhaps if your business does offer an employee, and I've forgotten the acronym, Employee Assistance Program, an EAP, I should remember that. You guys should too, but look, we're all human, we make mistakes. With an Employee Assistance Program, managers who have organized this counseling, it's then completely independent from the business. If employees are accessing that to get counseling or have conversations about challenges they're having at work or challenges they're having in their personal life, they might be getting help for that. Because it's entirely unique from the business and independent from the business, and there is that level of discretion, a manager may be unaware that the employee is having any challenges at all and might not then be in a position to make informed decisions to support their employees. That's not really a disadvantage. There almost are no disadvantages for support. Every manager should be going out of their way to look for ways to support their employees. But that might be a disadvantage of an EAP. Certainly, it does cost money, so you could say that it's expensive, and that might be a disadvantage of it. But really, the only proper disadvantage we can identify for support is it needs to be consistent and it needs to be authentic. You can't have a supportive manager 2 days a week. That's not how it works. A manager who supports their employees, who appreciates their employees, who is working in the best interests of their employees, will be doing so consistently and building a positive culture. You can't have supportive employees in an otherwise toxic culture. That's not how it works. And sanction strategies. Sanctions are penalties imposed for poor performance or for disobedience. As soon as I say that, you might be thinking autocratic managers. It kind of fits in with a more strict style of management. Some examples of common sanction strategies used might be a loss of hours or loss of shifts. You might have an incident of poor performance put on your record, which might harm your future career advancement opportunities within a business. You could be demoted from a position of responsibility, or certainly, in quite extreme cases, termination of employment. That would be a pretty severe consequence, a pretty severe sanction. But generally speaking, all of these strategies work. They create motivation for employees by creating fear in employees. There's only one motivation theory that directly addresses this, and that's Lawrence and Noria's 4 drive theory when they talk about the drive to defend. Knowing that these consequences can happen to people will mean that the drive to defend is activated, and that's a source of motivation. But generally speaking, that motivation comes from a place of fear or anxiety or concern that these things might happen to you and wanting to work hard to prevent these things from happening to you. Definitely, this is a short-term motivator because the longer you're working in a hostile environment, the more numb you're going to become to that hostility, and certainly it'll become less motivating and more a source of unhappiness, a real demotivator, and definitely not something contributing to a positive culture. Of course, there are advantages. Some employees respond very well to sanction. I've got kids, and I'll tell you right now, little kids, if your voice gets a little bit growly, they tend to listen pretty well. Some people never outgrow that. And a manager who can say, all right, this is your second warning. Next time it happens, we're going to have a sit down and a bit of a chat about your future prospects. They can get good results out of some employees. And certainly, if you're a manager who's trying to bring the real corporate culture in line with the official corporate culture in your business, you might be able to bring employees' behavior into line with policy through the fear of sanctions. Of course, it's normally only a short-term motivator. It's normally only an effective solution for some employees. It's likely to cause resentment in employees if it's overused, and certainly disgruntled employees are not going to be engaged and motivated with your vision for your business. So sanction, if used at all, is best used sparingly and only in situations where it is very necessary. But it can work. In summary for these key knowledge points, if a business has disengaged, demotivated employees, their work, their efforts are likely to be mediocre or poor. There are a number of different ways that we've just talked about that you can try and motivate your employees to improve their performance. We've said it before, I'm going to say it again, engaged and motivated employees are more productive and efficient. So we want our employees to be motivated. An effective manager is going to be applying the motivation theories and implementing motivation strategies to try and increase the engagement and motivation of their employees. The motivation strategies that we've discussed in this lesson are performance-related pay, career advancement, investment in training, support strategies, and sanction strategies. However, I don't want you to forget that this key knowledge point, like many in the study design, is not finite. And while we were talking about management theories, we talked about things like organizing social gatherings to give employees an opportunity to interact and to bond and build relationships as a strategy that could be implemented to increase motivation. Strategies like that are totally fine to talk about in assessments or in the exam. But if you're asked a question about the advantages and disadvantages of strategies, because these are the ones that we're studying, these are the ones named in the study design, these are probably the ones that you're going to want to stick with. That's all for today. See you next time.